everybody. I'm your podcast host, Charlie Brixton. And with me, another very special moment. Technically, we're killing time because we're about to have brunch in the next hour. But my co-hosts are here. My sister,
Live for that,
from another cousin, comedian Katie Bogart.
Hello.
And my best friend, my grandma, my friend, but really just my genuine friend. With me, Christopher, the opera singer. The 41-year-old man who got to the pussy.
Telling my age, but I don't care. I look great.
Yes, you do.
I look great. Oh, gosh.
And we're so excited to be here with you guys today. So we have a cool topic. Are you guys ready? The topic is, are you listening? Right? There's something interesting about anxiety. When you have anxiety or when you're worried about something, you have so much stuff in your head. You can't listen, right? Like you can't think. You can't think logically. Yeah. So like, how do you expect to receive that advice, to move if you're not still? How do we get still? I don't know. Like,
well, it's also improv, and one of the reasons I want so many people to learn improv is you learn that we usually, as a society, we learn to stop listen. Oh, we stopped listening, and we start because we're just waiting we're thinking about what we're going to say. Okay. Instead of listening.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. I think we think about what we got to say because we live in a very censored world, and you sometimes have to say to yourself, "Who am I talking to? How am I going to be perceived?" Learning how to listen, the different art of listening, and this is something that I was taught when I went to a training at work, and this is something that I didn't coin. It's something that it's part of communication. There are three forms of communication that we have when we talk to each other. There's the body language, there's the tone that you use, and your words. Your body language represents 55% of your communication. So that means that you don't need to speak the same language as someone to understand what they're saying. If your body can speak to their body language, you can understand. And then you need to listen with all of those senses that have been given to you. And that's how you know what's going on. But then in order to experience something and listen to somebody, I always say sometimes you have to feel that yourself. You have to go through the fire to know how to grow. Yeah,
I love that. And which leads us to connecting, right? These are things I would hear all the time in my own life, like old-fashioned advice, you would ignore. And then 13 months ago, of course, I lost 68 pounds. I wanted to be 69 so bad. But I wasn't.
Jesus. You can do 69 when you get home.
No, but I lost 68 pounds. But it was honest. I sat still and I listened, right? I finally started to listen. And I do agree when you're ready to connect to it or you need it. Like they always say when the student is ready for the teacher, that's when the teacher appears or something like that. It's true. Like you got to be ready. So I would like for us to have fun. These are some of the things that I finally listened to, which helped me lose my 68 pounds. Are we ready? Okay. How I got to the pussy.
Okay.
So let's see if you guys can relate to it. But these are silly, but it makes sense. You ready? Number one, the old saying, eat an apple a day. Now, I've been hearing this from my grandma. Of course, you see like the 50s calendars, eat an apple a day. It keeps the
doctor away.
Oh yeah, the doctor away.
See, I like how you didn't remember that because that's not a gift. I'm feeling this. Go ahead.
No, tell me. Keep the doctor away. But eat an apple a day. And so I would hear that, and you're like, okay, well, how come everyone says that? How come this is this common thing? It didn't hit me until I was in a car, and this was when I was 270. At the time, I was 274, just coming from Wisconsin. I just took that picture. And I was in a car with an older woman. And she was like, oh, I eat an apple a day. I lost 55 pounds from it. I said, what? Come again. And then she's telling me how she had an apple a day. It gave her fiber, it gave her things, and she lost weight. Then, swear to you, walking down the block, chilling, I heard a guy say, "Oh yeah, I'm monomilling. I just have my apples. I eat my apples. I'm done. It's all I need." Yeah. What the hell?
So I love moments like that because it's like, I was a fan of The Secret when I was in my early 20s.
I'm into The Secret. It's still cool.
But it is so
I get it.
true. You know what I mean? I really broke it
has
down.
to go deeper. Yeah.
No,
What is that?
Law of attraction, child.
The Secret.
But the biggest thing that I've taken from it, and it is so true, is our brain, we can only take in a certain amount of stuff. So it's like if you declare that your favorite color is green, you're going to see green more than other colors, you know? If you declare that, like, I only see angry people, you're only going to see angry people.
Because you're your own God. You're very powerful. I think your mind can control things within you.
It's just what your eyes are going to look at. It has 1,000 images, and we've controlled our brains to see certain things. It's why we can recognize, you know, friends or families or a teacher when you're in a festival with a million people.
I love that. Well, let me tell y'all, thank God for the apples. I took my ass down to Whole Foods on 125th Street, and I brought me some Pink Gala organic. It was like $2.99 per pound. And I brought a bag of apples. But
I also think from what I'm hearing you say is that you made yourself learn a little bit more what the apples do to you.
Yes,
and
I did.
when you spoke about the fiber and the different things and hearing that guy speak to it, you understand the connection it has for you and your body. Yeah.
And till this day, before I eat anything, because I do believe in eating alive foods. I don't put anything dead in my body when I start, because everything does come out the pussy. But I have an apple. I do. I have an apple a day, and somehow I don't diet. I do have an apple before I start, but I'm 68 pounds lighter. Yeah, kind of cool.
Of course. I mean,
kind of cool.
I think that it's all about what you put into your body, which I think is what you've established.
Yes. And of course, I'm a Florida kid. You're a Florida kid. So some of us are from these religious backgrounds. And I know that my uncle, the deacon, he used to always tell his congregation, what you pray to will always answer. You know?
That's powerful.
Yeah. And what's interesting, that didn't hit for me until, once again, I was looking at a Facebook ad, and there was this guy who lost about 160 pounds because he walked every day for his food. And then he realized he was walking more than eating. He lost weight. He did that more. And you know, it's like whatever you pray to. So when I think of praying, it's like whatever we bring our attention to, that's what you're going to be. You like to eat more. You're worrying about your 6 meals. You could be those meals, you know? So it's just, it was something about that. And I feel like that changed my intention of how I lived.
Yeah. And it create your own commitment to it, because you're praying to something you want to do, but it takes work on your end too.
Oh, honey. And I always say I pray to the workout gods. I pray to the money gods. I pray to the 11-incher gods. I just don't want to pay your rent.
You know, I think it's always, like you said before, it's always like, you know, you never settle. You know, must keep my corporate America working in digital. You must always optimize. Always, what can you do? Always see how you can be better than. Stay with it.
Stay with it. Better than. My grandma, I love her. She used to always tell me, you know what? Sometimes you just need a little something to push you through. Of course, this was the grandma that would give me some rum to go to sleep, right? Or different things. But I thought about that. You know, this diet and exercise, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. And I feel people who work, for example, my body, honestly, things start to move inside of me when I start to learn more about herbs and adaptogens and different things like sea moss. And what is that?
I love it.
Oh, I love sea moss.
You got me into it, though.
That's another episode.
No, you got me
Get you
into
some
it
sea
too.
moss, right? This is the sea moss club.
97
y'all.
minerals out of the 102 in our body.
That's very true. I mean,
Yes, I did.
I went to my doctor. I said, that's what I'm taking. He goes, oh, well, let's see if it keeps going. And I said, 102 minerals, but 90, how many? 97?
What is it, 97 out of 102?
96, something like that.
Something
It's a big percentage.
Along with bladderwrack, yes.
Yes, and chlorophyll pills. Anyway.
No, but all of these things are natural, right?
Exactly.
But they get you through. I was almost 300 pounds,
It
folks.
complements what you're already doing with your body working out.
It's so funny because it's like, I love when we talk about taking natural stuff, because it's like, really, this earth has provided everything that we need.
It does.
Yeah.
And the things that we are trying to create actually a lot of the times like are the things that are causing the harm, are the things that's causing the cancer, you know.
They have a saying about fruit. They're saying fruit is the most forgiving food on the planet. Fruit is the mankind's gift. Think about it. Fruit falls on a tree.
It does.
It's for you to eat.
Yeah.
You don't have to pick it. It falls. And it's like, it's a gift. Why are we not eating fruit, my keto people, right? It's for you. Why are we not eating it?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it falls just for you. You know, it's well, you don't have to pluck it. You're doing nothing violent. You're not killing it. You're not, it's like, this is for you. Yeah. And I'm going to grow again and it's okay. Why aren't we eating more of it? I mean, I love my keto ladies. I love you guys. But honestly, pick up a goddamn apple. Like,
it's
true.
It's
for you.
It's true. Like it's good. It's good.
Did you know if you're feeling a little depressed and you eat a banana, you'll feel better?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Some stuff in there. Yeah. I think what you were saying earlier, going back to your earlier point, like, you know, when you lose the weight and you see it can be difficult. And I think it's more difficult in the mental aspect of it, of how you are being perceived now versus how you were perceived earlier.
Get in, honey.
And that's when it becomes a different type of like power that you can control.
Yeah.
It's hard. But hey, sometimes you're in control of it. And they should love you regardless.
They should love you regardless, or just stare at you.
Oh, that's even better, honey.
I'm like, you just
center of attention.
No, I do.
We all want that. We all want that, of course.
It's like, I want you to remember me.
You know, life is a stage, and we're the leaders of it.
Yes.
Yeah. I know. I've never wanted to be one of those people that like, I hope I blend into this background. It's like.
Never.
I mean, and I'm to the point is, and if you're trying to blend, that's when you need to get out of the space.
I mean, but
that's
true,
right? If
it's true.
It
is very true because the mundane. Who wants to live in a very mundane world?
I know.
In mundane within yourself too.
Yeah, that's why I love New York City. I mean, okay, small tangent, but like Monday nights, we're able to like go to Red Rooster, like RC, wasn't it everything? And like C bands, where like sometimes people, they go home and they watch the news and they cook dinner. No, in New York City, we're doing Therapy Mondays with tequila. And we go to bed at 2:00.
Exactly, and you make yourself go to work to the next day. But
I also work out. Get it?
True. I work out through sex if I can't go to the gym. It's always a very good workout. Yes. A lot of sweat comes out of it. Yes, I sweat it out. Well, but I also love about your New York City comment. I think we, as people that, even if you have not grown up here, but you've lived here for quite some time, and I think Katie can speak to this a little bit more too about the improvisation. I think sometimes improv, things happen off the cuff and it just occurs and just connection with people. I think back a long time ago, I never forget this. I went to a friend of Miss Rickson's, I forget who he was again, but just I do, but I don't want to talk about it. We had a bar.
Now I'm trying to get it. I'm like, who is he? What name is he trying to say? Can I get us sued?
I don't know exactly. Okay. Sometimes be very careful.
I'm with you, honey.
Life.
Save the coins.
I'm my own lawyer.
We're going
heart.
to Ghana this year.
We need
all the money we can.
Exactly. But this guy was at his apartment and his band was there. And we were just chilling, doing our thing. And, I'm classically trained vocalist. I sing opera. I can sing in many different styles that I need to. I actually need to be rehearsing for my performance next week, but I'll do that when I get home. But, I was not going to give my art when they're just jamming away. And I'll just be here jamming. We're all just living this moment, whatever. And so my dear friend said to me, just sing. I'm like,
give your art. You have it. It's a gift.
So I just literally just started doing these weird, stuff, like loud and just going and then they were just jamming with me. And it was like a mesh of different styles. We gave and we take. It was like I was in a jazz concert where each instrumentalist or musician had their moment. And each one would support each other. And it's a dance. And it's also forgiveness. It's also pain. It's also joy. It's everything that comes into it. Because as you were talking about what you pray for, you get. I think sometimes singing, as you're singing, you're praying twice. As you are giving music and your art, you're praying twice. You're praying and giving it to yourself and giving it to others.
Oh, I love it. Generosity. Give it to me a bit. I just always think of songs that come after. Like I'm the Horrible Off DJ.
I love it.
Oh, okay. So this is kind of cool. Tonight, my booty call is coming over.
Ooh.
Right? But it's a segue. But he's boring. Wait, I have to change his name. We're going to call him Richard. So my booty call Richard is coming over. That's boring.
He's boring. Why is he boring?
No, not the boring. Because remember the one that lost all the weight I told you guys about from years ago?
Yes.
And like, we don't really like each other, but we kind of hang out with each other because we're just... It's a Capricorn Aquarius thing.
At least he just like is honest with you. I appreciate that.
No, he's super cool. No, he's a super sweet guy. Like we're really good friends. Like I think we hang out more than what we sleep together.
And that's great.
Right? And he's huge too. But he's a folk boy. A minimalist. Okay, no, Richard, you're not a minimalist F1. You're my friend. Okay. But no, he inspired me months ago where I was not going to the gym at the time. And he was like, Charlie, don't go to the gym yet. I'm like, oh no, but I have to work out. I have to sweat. I have to, and he says, no, you're going to stop. Don't. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, what do you like about it? What do you like about the gym? And I go, and he says, ask yourself that question again. And if you give that reaction, you're still not ready to go. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean, Richard? And he was like, you have to find some joy in it. Like what can you connect about the gym? Do not say, I have to lose weight. I have to. If you say this, you're going to treat it as a chore.
Yeah.
And this has to be an everyday thing. The gym does not stop. Right. I finally went 3 weeks later when I was stressed out from work and I just wanted to disappear and listen to music. I went to the gym. I was my first time at the gym. I was there and I should have been petrified. I wasn't. I was there for an hour and 40 minutes, lost in music, sweating. I haven't stopped since. I probably work out 2 hours a day. I find the joy in it. It's amazing. Right?
That's great.
Yeah.
You get to a point where you're like, just let go.
It's
as I would say, let go and let God. This is your God. Do what you need to do.
Pray.
That's right. We all could be spiritual beings, but we don't have to live by somebody else's doctrine, but your own.
Get in. I love it. So I'm only going to give y'all 5 today because we can probably do another 5 at another episode. But I just wanted to open up to you guys. Is there anything you guys heard over your life that you're like, God damn, I'm just getting this now? Really? Wow, that's important.
That's very good. That's a very good question.
Right?
For me, actually, it's been a lot of like, be who you are. These cliche phrases, just you have to do this. Just be confident, or just like live your life the way someone would respect for you for things that you do later in life. Like they have to respect you for how you live your life. They have to. So who are they?
So weird. I don't like that.
And you get to a point as you get older and you go through many different stages of what pain is and what happiness is. And I say this to some of my friends a lot. I think it's harder to mourn someone who's alive that you have not want them in your life anymore.
Oh, you told me that.
And you go through what that pain is. And then you say to yourself, okay, I have conquered this. I have become my own person. And I don't know who they are because they is me. And I will decide what I want to do. There are things, of course, I'm not perfect at all. Definitely are moments where maybe I should have done this differently, or I could have done that. But sometimes if you question it over and over again, you still haven't grown. You have to be confident in what you do. Just like in our other episode, I lied. I did not.
How the gay 41-year-old got to the pussy. Look it up, episode 3. Go back.
And, you have to have confidence in what you want to do. And again, the they becomes you. You are the they. I always say, be in control of your message. You live the way you want to be.
Or control your own commentary. Right? The CCs. Like, seriously. Control it. I love it.
Yeah. And I think with everything, too, for me, I constantly am, like, seeing things and feel like I'm growing and I still love it. Like, I'm okay that I'm not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
What is perfect? And
Me.
Exactly. Child. You are a perfect child.
Don't yuck my yum. Shut up.
Nobody's perfect.
Support me, friends.
You know, we would always hear growing up, nobody's perfect but God.
Nobody's perfect.
But God. Okay, but God. Okay, God, you're perfect. This is your time. Go back to your
Sorry.
This is your time. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, it's like even like advice that like I would pass on to people is like, I'm like, make sure that you're still doing stuff that scares you. Make sure that you're walking into rooms that give you butterflies. Because if you're not, then it's like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
It is so true. It is so true.
I love that. What are you doing? If you're not doing what are you doing?
I'm gonna quote Billie Jean King, because this is not something I came up with. Pressure is a privilege. And I think we need to cherish those moments. And it comes from when you're like on the tennis court and you are all alone and you have to figure out how to problem solve. Mm-hmm. You have to figure out how to adapt to someone who is not really working with you, because they're beating you and you want to beat them. But why are you beating them? You know what I mean? What's the purpose of that? What's the reason for it? Why are you all alone and people are watching you? What puts you in this place? You know, to your point with the butterflies, you have to have that pressure. And I think that it helps you. It motivates you. Keeps you going. I like it.
You give me butterflies flying so high.
And you appreciate
I'm sorry, I
times
thought
when
it was
you
your
don't,
keys.
you know? Like, like if you go for a job interview or you remember your first day of work, that's completely different than when you're like, oh, okay, I got this. Mm-hmm. And being aware of how you've grown, being aware of the confidence that you have. I think a lot of people, when they get older, lose that kind of.
They do. Because of the they.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
because of the they, whoever they are.
Keyword of the day. They. Keyword of the day.
They ain't gonna like you. Who the hell is who's they?
Ooh. So our word of the day is they. Chris, what is the they?
They, what they eat don't make me shit. That's who they are.
Yes! And you got to the pussy. All right, y'all. We'll see you guys next week. What episode? I don't know. We'll feel something. Right.
Feeling, yes.
Guys, is our reservation ready? Yay! It's ready. Bye.
Come on and let them have it.
Perfect. Thank you.